Well, I think this pretty much closes the book on its Me Too. They're tuning in for Me Too. Oh, the WNBA's not going to like that. Oh, those Angel Reese trolls online that are trying to come for me and other YouTube channels, y'all aren't going to like this. Good. Too bad.
The WNBA is on fire. Sold out arenas, skyrocketing TV ratings, and a buzz that's electrifying the entire sports world. It's a phenomenon unlike anything we've witnessed before. A meteoric rise that feels almost impossible. But beneath the surface of this unprecedented boom lies a truth more shocking than any game-winning shot. This league's sudden supernova status isn't the result of decades of careful planning or even a collective effort. No, it's driven by a single undeniable force. And what's truly astonishing isn't just her impact, but the fierce, baffling resistance she continues to face from the very establishment she's saving. Prepare to confront the hidden reality of the WNBA's biggest secret and the startling truth about the player who changed everything, only to be met with a cold shoulder.
Don't hate the player, hate the game she got, because she's really talented, especially for being Falangi, She's like the Stephen Curry of WNBA with the threes and stuff. Like, proven fact is, like, they had a game on June 7th scheduled. It was going to be Angel Reese's team, which plays for Chicago, and then for Caitlin Clark's team. They were supposed to go up there playing Chicago on June 7th. First, the ticket sales were at $76 a ticket. Then after they found out Caitlin Clark's not playing that game, she got injured. Sales dropped to $25 a ticket.
Forget what you thought you knew about women's basketball, because a seismic shift has occurred, a financial and cultural earthquake known only as Clarkonomics. This isn't merely about a talented player, it's about a living, breathing economic revival, a phenomenon that has rewritten the laws of supply and demand for an entire professional league. Before this individual arrived, WNBA tickets were often cheaper than a concession stand hot dog, and attendance sometimes sparse. Now, we're talking nosebleed seats demanding prices once reserved for luxury experiences, commanding figures that could cover your monthly rent. Courtside views? You might need a small business loan just to get a glimpse.
I mean, it's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it, everybody else, get in the back. Get in the back.
This isn't exaggeration, it's documented fact. Consider the scheduled June 7th game, a highly anticipated matchup, before news broke that our subject was sidelined due to injury. When her presence was a certainty, tickets averaged a staggering $76. The moment her absence was confirmed, the market reacted instantly, savagely. Prices plummeted to a mere $25. Think about that for a moment. A single player, not even on the court, dictates a 70% drop in market value for an entire event. That's not just dishing assists, that's unilaterally rewriting the fundamental rules of consumer economics.
Hi, Angel. David Moses with the Bigs Media. Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next
getting
question. Yeah. We'll move on. Thank you.
Her influence isn't confined to the court, it's an invisible force, compelling fans to empty their wallets, pushing sports media into an unprecedented frenzy, and forcing league executives to sprint to print more merchandise. This league is being carried, quite literally, dragged into the mainstream spotlight it has long yearned for, and yet an unsettling number of voices are too busy being salty to even offer a simple thank you.
Ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't gonna be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs. You can argue all you want if she's the best player in the league, but you absolutely cannot argue if she's the most important, because she is. She is more valuable than all the other players combined, and that is just a fact.
It's that simple. There was the WNBA before this individual, an era of quiet niche appeal, and now there's the undeniable booming era of Clarkonomics. She is the human equivalent of a guaranteed sellout, a living, breathing financial anomaly the league never saw coming, but one that has irrevocably altered its trajectory. Her shadow extends beyond just ticket sales. It's evident in the unprecedented jersey sales, merchandise flying off shelves faster than they can be stocked, and television ratings that dwarf anything the league has seen in its history. This isn't a slow burn, it's a detonation.
WNBA is now suffering a major injury as Caitlin Clark is going to be out for 2 weeks with a quad injury. And the reason we're bringing this up specifically is the Clarkonomics effect to this. Obviously, players miss time all the time, but the Sky and the Fever were supposed to play in Chicago in about a week on June 7th. The opening ticket price was $86 because you have the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark showdown that is now box office. Yeah, those tickets are now down to $25. Down to $25 after the injury announcement. And it's supposed to take place in the Bulls Arena, the United Center, as opposed to the normal Wintrust Arena. That's about a 12,000 seat difference, give or take.
But here's where the story takes a darker, more perplexing turn, revealing a deeply unsettling undercurrent. Instead of embracing this undeniable wave, instead of rolling out the proverbial red carpet for the person single-handedly making millions care about the sport, a troubling, almost palpable resistance has emerged from within the league itself. You'd logically expect players, coaches, and even former greats to welcome this surge in attention, to celebrate the rising tide lifting all boats, bringing unprecedented visibility and financial opportunity to everyone involved. But the vibe, it's less teamwork makes the dream work, and more, who let her sit at our lunch table? It's a bizarre, almost childish jealousy, as if this transformative player somehow stole something that was never theirs to begin with, as if her success invalidates their own hard-fought journeys.
It's a support system. That shouldn't change. I think, Caitlin knows that she has the ears and the eyes in the locker room, and the support that she has behind, whether it's us or anybody else. I would like to think that she knows it's there, and to really take her time and make sure that she's, well enough to be who she needs to be for us, because I want the 100% Caitlin, so I'll take it.
You see it in the fleeting glances, the subtle eye rolls caught on camera, the passive-aggressive social media posts, and the whispered comments about her needing to earn it. Earn what exactly? She's the undeniable reason your team's next game is being broadcast on a major national network instead of being relegated to public access television. She's not asking for VIP treatment or special favors. She's simply out here launching logo bombs with a preternatural ability, seemingly blessed by a higher power. Meanwhile, others act as if they're guarding the gate to basketball heaven, oblivious to the fact that she just blew the doors wide open for everyone.
Turns out she's human after all, Dan. She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Colts.
This isn't just a hot streak. Her presence has become atmospheric, her influence so profound she impacts games and markets even when she doesn't play a single minute. And yet, instead of soaking in this tsunami of attention and riding the wave, some players seem visibly pained, almost angry, looking like they'd rather guard a full court press in flip-flops than admit she's unequivocally good for business, for their business. It's a baffling display of misplaced pride and resentment.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth.
And nowhere is this internal friction, this strange sense of resentment, more glaringly evident than in the ongoing public saga involving another prominent player, a rivalry that began in college and has now metastasized into something far more public, far more uncomfortable, and arguably far more damaging to the league's burgeoning image. What started as fierce competitive basketball has spilled over, becoming a pervasive narrative that often overshadows the game itself. You'd logically assume that more fans, more attention, more lucrative endorsement deals for everyone would be a universal win for all players. But this rival, by all appearances, seems to be treating our subject's success like a hostile takeover of her personal group chat, a direct threat to her own standing.
And I mean, she's the truth, and she was a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she's look like she's coming off for a three-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is a complete basketball player.
It's not just a competitive fire, it's a perceived combustion under the blinding bright lights of our subject's undeniable gravitational pull. Remember that infamous press conference moment? A reporter asking a perfectly legitimate question about the league's astonishing growth and our subject's unprecedented impact was met with a dismissive, almost contemptuous, next question. It wasn't just a snub, it was a public refusal to acknowledge the obvious. A raw public display of frustration and anger that spoke volumes, echoing across social media platforms for days. While our central player is making cash registers sing, her rival at times appears to be throwing elbows like it's an episode of a high-stakes reality show, a WNBA edition of Real Housewives drama.
How crazy was this season versus the seasons past?
Our jersey sales were up 1,193%. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and we're thrilled about it. But it brought visibility to the whole team of the Fever and to the WNBA. But if we just want to keep it in Indiana, you know, we look at ticket sales sold out every night, over 17,000 fans in our games at home. When Caitlin announced that she was coming out into the draft on a Thursday afternoon, from that time to Sunday night, we had over 6,000 phone calls, people wanting to buy season tickets. But even something as simple as our terrific mascot, Freddie Fever, his appearance requests went up 150% this season. So you talk about the Fever, the team, which is what we've been working on.
This isn't merely about who scores more points or grabs more rebounds. It's about the deeply uncomfortable dynamic created when one player's singular, undeniable influence overshadows even the most established veterans. It's a psychological drama that continues to unfold with every interaction, every perceived slight, every public statement, proving that sometimes the biggest battles are fought far off the stat sheet, fueled by something far more complex than just athletic prowess.
Shame on you. Kathy Engelbert pens this beautiful article written by Kathy, about Kathy, for Kathy, explaining why she is solely responsible for the boom of the WNBA. Folks, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. The commissioner of the WNBA on transferring the league ahead of a breakout season. And what was that plan that Kathy Engelbert put in place? Working in partnership with my new WNBA team members, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a strategy with 3 pillars. The league would think player first.
But the internal resistance, the baffling reluctance to embrace this revolutionary force, isn't confined to the locker room or to the courtside rivalries. It echoes, disturbingly, from the very top. Enter the league commissioner, who has inexplicably strutted onto the stage as if she personally catapulted the league into mainstream prominence through sheer force of will and strategic genius. She's practically delivering PowerPoint presentations titled "How I Saved the WNBA," treating the player who is literally selling out arenas like an intern responsible for managing Gatorade logistics. Let's be crystal clear, this commissioner didn't drop 40 points in a championship game. She didn't set college viewership records that shattered male sports benchmarks.
Yes, man, you guys heard me correctly. None other than Kathy Engelbert is singing a different tune this season about Caitlin Clark. Now, we know last year she was talking about all of the other rookies being included in this, making a difference, being able to help contribute to the big bang of the WNBA. This time around, she's owing it all to Caitlin Clark. Me personally, I told y'all this at the beginning of the month. The chickens was coming home to roost for the WNBA, because I'm telling you right now, there has been a lot of spooky things going on and people is tired of it.
She didn't ignite a national merchandise frenzy. She certainly didn't make millions of people who have never watched women's sports suddenly understand the intricacies of a dribble handoff. Yet here she is, presenting herself as a marketing wizard who conjured all this unprecedented growth with a press release and a vision board. Ma'am, the effect of this player isn't a meticulously planned team-building exercise. It's a cultural earthquake, an organic, unstoppable phenomenon. And you, Commissioner, are incredibly fortunate to be clinging to the rim as the entire edifice shakes. Imagine the sheer audacity. The Commissioner pens an article. Yes, an article by the Commissioner, about the Commissioner, for the Commissioner, explaining why she is solely responsible for the league's boom.
But Kathy Engelbert, in her naivete or in her delusion, she takes credit for it. Instead of saying it's because of Caitlin Clark, instead of saying it's because of the person from Iowa, instead of saying it was because of Kathy says, oh, it's all me. My strategy, my plan, my 3 pillars. In this entire article, Kathy Engelbert mentions Caitlin Clark's name 2, maybe 3 times. Angel Reese's name once. Cameron Briggs' name once. Let's get right into it because this article, from start to finish, is
She outlines her
disgusting.
3 pillars of strategic growth, barely mentioning, if at all, the player who is demonstrably selling out every single arena. To truly test this theory, conduct a thought experiment. Remove this player from the equation. Poof, gone. Suddenly, the once thunderous crowds would resemble a high school reunion at a silent disco. National sports media coverage would revert to being buried beneath obscure cornhole championships and reruns of obscure 2012 bowling matches. Ratings, they'd be limboing under basement levels, if they existed at all. Yet this commissioner is embarking on a public relations tour, where every microphone becomes an opportunity to drop buzzwords like strategic growth initiatives, as if she's Steve Jobs unveiling the next revolutionary gadget for the WNBA. This isn't her master plan, this is her star players highlight reel, a magnificent organic explosion, and the league is merely fortunate to be along for the ride, desperately, almost comically pretending to be in the driver's seat. It's a profound strategic blunder, a refusal to acknowledge the seismic shift happening under her very nose, while simultaneously attempting to claim the glory for herself. And as if the baffling internal strife and the delusional leadership weren't enough, there's another deeply disturbing trend casting a long, dark shadow over our subject's meteoric rise. The relentless, often uncalled, and increasingly dangerous physical abuse she endures on the court. She's being clobbered like she walked into a clearance sale with a full shopping cart and everyone else has a clear shot. She's drawing more fouls than a chicken nugget in a vegan cafe, yet the referees, they're standing there, arms folded, like, play on, play on. Are we playing a professional basketball game, or are we witnessing a scene from Mad Max Fury Road? This is your LeBron James, your Serena Williams, your Steph Curry moment, a generational talent drawing unprecedented attention, a singular force destined to reshape the sport. And rather than constructing the cinematic universe of protection and celebration around her, the league appears to be tacitly allowing her to be tackled as if she stumbled onto an NFL scrimmage field. The league should be on high alert, ensuring their golden ticket isn't limping into press conferences with ice packs stapled to her soul, nursing injuries that could jeopardize her career and, by extension, the league's future. Instead, it's as if they're conducting a perverse experiment, testing precisely how much physical abuse she can endure before transforming into a walking, talking insurance claim. This isn't about her needing a reality check on physicality. She needs a dedicated security detail and a highlight montage aired before every single game with a clear, indelible "do not touch" label slapped across the screen. The glaring disparity in officiating, the seemingly intentional hard fouls that go unpunished, and the league's apparent inaction raise serious, alarming questions about their commitment to nurturing their biggest, most valuable asset. It's a baffling oversight, a reckless and dangerous game being played with the very future of the WNBA itself. This isn't just rough play, it's a tacit endorsement of tactics that threaten to sideline the very player responsible for the league's unprecedented survival and newfound prominence. So let's cut through all the noise, the denial, and the thinly veiled resentments, and face the undeniable objective truth. This player isn't just a star, she's the main event, the halftime show, and the entire ad campaign for the WNBA rolled into one explosive package. You can argue all you want about whether she's currently the best player in the league, a subjective debate perhaps, but you absolutely unequivocally cannot argue whether she's the most important, because she is. Her impact, her draw, her sheer gravitational pull is more valuable than all the other players combined, and that is just a cold, hard, statistical fact. Even when she's inactive, even when her jersey is hanging in the locker room, this player is the headline. Scalpers are charging Coachella-level prices outside arenas, not for a guaranteed performance, but just in case she might lace up her shoes for a few minutes. Fans are literally foaming at the mouth for a mere glimpse, a chance to witness her presence. Yet all the while, some players are publicly expressing their displeasure, tweeting like she personally canceled their long-standing shoe deals. The resistance is strong, it's undeniable, but it's also wildly, bewilderingly misplaced. Newsflash, this player isn't your rival, she's the rocket, the propulsion system that's taking this league to heights it never dreamed possible. And some are inexplicably out here trying to cut the fuel line. This isn't the commissioner's meticulously crafted master plan, this is her star player's high highlight reel, a magnificent organic explosion, and the league is merely fortunate to be along for the ride, desperately and often clumsily pretending to be in the driver's seat. Her arrival brought unprecedented visibility to her entire team, and by extension, to the entire WNBA. When she announced she was coming into the draft, a staggering 6,000 phone calls came in over a single weekend from eager people wanting to buy season tickets. Even the team mascot's appearance requests, a truly bizarre but telling metric, went up by an astonishing 150% this season. The crowd roars louder during warm-ups for her than at actual tip-off. This player didn't break the WNBA. She illuminated its staggering, untapped potential. She cracked open the universe. And apparently that's an exceptionally tough pill to swallow for those who mistakenly believe their long-standing agents or their past achievements were the sole keys to future influence and success. The WNBA stands at a monumental, precarious crossroads. On one path lies an unprecedented future of growth, true mainstream recognition, and a golden era fueled by the undeniable magnetism of one player. On the other, the very real risk of backsliding into relative obscurity, forever hampered and held back by internal resentments, a baffling lack of self-awareness from leadership, and a dangerous, almost suicidal disregard for its most valuable asset. This player didn't just show up, she showed out, dragging an entire organization almost single-handedly into prime time. And now, too many are attempting to rebrand this organic miracle as a collective group project, or worse, actively trying to diminish her, to sideline her, to deny her impact. One rival can pout all she wants, but while she's practicing post-game shade, her counterpart is busy rewriting the league's very future, shaping its destiny with every shot, every pass, every drawn fan. If the league had any sense, any strategic foresight whatsoever, they'd be bubble wrapping this generational talent between games, hiring a private security detail to guard her like she's carrying the nuclear codes. This isn't simply load management, it's legacy management. She's not just playing the game, she's profoundly shaping its entire future, its very existence. Without her, this season would have the excitement level of a lukewarm decaf latte, a mere footnote in sports history. So it is time for the league to give her the unequivocal recognition she deserves. Shower her with it, name an award after her, grant her a personalized rulebook for her protection, construct a hologram statue mid-season, whatever it takes. Because if the rest of them, from players to executives, don't catch up soon, if they don't shed their petty jealousies and embrace this golden opportunity, they'll be left watching her highlights from home again, endlessly wondering how they let their golden opportunity slip through their fingers, leaving the WNBA to fade back into the shadows from which it briefly emerged. The choice is stark, the consequences undeniable. Embrace the future, protect its architect, and truly soar, or be left trailing in her wake.